Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the season finale and last decode on the TV series V for Visitors. Now, in the last part, we watched as the V's explained their need for a particular element called phosphorus. Now, why did they need the phosphorus? They needed the phosphorus so that they could reproduce with humans. This is a painting in Trump's 66th floor penthouse. It's actually a reproduction of a painting called Aurora. And it features Apollo on a chariot. Here's the original painting. Here. Apollo is on a chariot led by, in this case, a white and brown horse. But in Trump's 66th floor penthouse, he is led by white horses. Now, in the description of this painting, there is other goddesses that appear. Apollo, Aurora, which is the dawn, and Phosphorous, carrying a torch. Here it is, right here. This is phosphorus, the very same ingredient in the mandatory vaccinations in the V series. Now, what is all of this about? Well, I'm going to break this down for you guys today because this finale of the season will be the most powerful of all of these decodes to date. Now, if you're just getting caught up on all this, there are 5 other parts to this decode. They're in a playlist, so I make it very easy for you to find and get caught up on all this. But I couldn't believe this when we finally made the connection back to phosphorus in Trump's painting in his 66th floor penthouse of Apollo. Now, what is this all about? What is phosphorus about? That's what we're going to talk about today. It appears as though phosphorus will be a main ingredient in the twinning of humanity. In other words, allowing the serpent to mix with humanity. And this is why phosphorus appears in the 66th floor, because we had figured out that the number 66 means twins. It will allow the serpent to mix with humanity, to recreate the very 66 twinning that we found before the Great Flood in the Bible. Remember the 6 generations that matched each other. Their names matched for 6 generations on each side of the bloodline. Now, God is good, isn't he? So even though he has to wipe the earth clean sometimes, he still allowed the other bloodline to creep through. How did it happen? Well, according to some sources, Noah's wife was a descendant of Cain. Her name was Naamah. And that's probably how there were giants after the flood, too. Let's break this down. So, Phosphorus, the goddess carrying the torch. Here she is, or was, here she is right here. She is known as the morning star. And this is why she's leading the way in front of Aurora, which is the dawn, because the dawn is the morning star, Lucifer. Now, what is the element phosphorus? Well, the element phosphorus, because remember, we were just talking about the goddess, now we're talking about the element, is also known as the morning star, Lucifer, as you can see right here. And phosphorus sits next to sulfur and silicon in the periodic table of elements. So you can imagine that these three elements will be pivotal in what the serpent wants to do in these end days. Now, I didn't know this before, but phosphorus is a component of DNA and RNA. And now you know where I'm going with this. Phosphates are a component of DNA, RNA. Now, phosphorus appears in other places in our reality. It appears in fertilizers. So here we have a rare earth element directly tied to artwork in Trump's penthouse that seems to connect him to this reptilian V series about mandatory vaccinations, inbreeding with aliens, and a covert world takeover. Now, I hope you're sitting down for this, because we are going to narrow our focus now to a particular kind of phosphorus, and it's called black phosphorus. And it says here that it resembles graphite, like graphene. And it actually conducts electricity. Now the plot thickens, doesn't it? Now the plot thickens. Because next I'm going to post something on the screen that I cannot speak out loud, because of the sensitivity of this. But they are literally looking at technology to put inside of this word here. I'm not saying it's in the one now, because they're denying that that's true. Here's the fact check. They do not contain graphene. But what if they're telling the truth here? And what if it isn't the graphene that's in them? But what if it's the black phosphorus that looks like it and acts like it? What technology are they looking at? Black phosphorus nanosheets. Assist nanoerythrosomes for efficient mRNA delivery and immune activation. This is what they're looking at, a new technology. Black phosphorus. The same stuff that was likely in the series V. Now, the series in V depicts the phosphorus as purple. But maybe this is what they were literally getting at here. So, what else is going on here? The fact that they were even talking about this, as it appeared in a 2011 TV series about reptilians mass vaccinating people so they can track them with an electric signal, is troubling. Remember, black phosphorus has conductive electrical properties and looks like graphene. Now, this stuff also has chemiluminescence, bioluminescence. It glows in the dark. Now let's continue to break down this final part of the series. And let's continue to break down this phosphorus. What else is unique about phosphorus? Well, a main source of phosphorus is in bat dung called guano. And we've been talking about guano, haven't we? You know, it's interesting. God brings us through this life and seeds clues within our human experience that we can then go back and track back to. And you guys have all heard the story. I wanted to be in a band when I was in college. So we tried to start a band. What was the name of the band? Guano. And now we find out that guano is guanine, part of the DNA. And of course, it's bat droppings. Where else is phosphorus found? Well, it's also found in bone ash. So here we have bat droppings, which they say COVID came from bats. And then we have phosphorus in bat droppings. And then we have of the V series. And in the V series, they talk about a pill that makes you suicide yourself. And they show it and depict it. And it would turn the whole body into ash, including the bones. So now we've solved what this whole visitor immolation is, what they called it. They could either take it in a capsule or they could shoot it out of a gun. And what it would do is cause the person to turn completely to ash. Immolation. Now, I didn't include any clips of that happening. It happened at least a dozen times throughout the series, and I forgot to screen capture it. But for those of you that have watched the series, you'll remember those scenes where they would take the pill and turn to ash in like a second. So now we know what that means. It's the phosphorus. That's what it means. Now, what makes this all really weird is that there's a certain country that has been dropping white phosphorus onto Gaza. Unlawfully. In fact, it's against international law. And some are saying that this white phosphorus came from another country, the United States. U.S. supplied white phosphorus. This is the Washington Post. So you can see there's something amiss in our reality, isn't there? Not as all that it seems. Now, when you've gone to the dentist, what do they tell you? Oh, don't drink sodas because they have sugar in them. And the sugar is what's bad for your teeth. So you think, oh, I can just drink one soda and I'll be fine. No, there's something in these sodas. Phosphorus. That actually dissolves your teeth. Because your teeth have phosphorus in them as well. And so this causes dental erosion. Ever hear that from your dentist? Food grade phosphoric acid is used to acidify foods and beverages, such as various colas and jams, providing a tangy or sour taste. The phosphoric acid also serves as a preservative. Soft drinks containing phosphoric acid, which would include Coca-Cola, are sometimes called phosphate sodas. Phosphoric acid in soft drinks has the potential to cause dental erosion and the formation of kidney stones. So now that we've set the stage as to what's actually happening in all of this, let's finish up these clips from the visitors. Now, the rebels, they're called the fifth column. And they realized that some of their children were given phosphorus before birth to alter their DNA and prepare them for breeding. But here's the problem. The fifth column in Spanish is La Quinta Columna, which just so happens to be the name of a real-life group of scientists who set out to prove that there was an ingredient inside of it. What was the ingredient? Graphene. So we've come full circle. The fifth column in the TV series, trying to expose the graphene in the mass vaccinations of the reptilians, and a real-life group called the fifth column who tried to do the same thing just a year ago or a few years ago. I'm going to check in with you guys, and we're going to get into some of these clips. My mind was blown when I started to finish up this series. Things are getting very real, aren't they? Now, Reuters came out against the fifth column and said they were lying. Did I capture that? Let's see, where is that? Reuters came out against the fifth column and said that they were lying. Where did it go? Oh, dang it. Did I close that? I'll have to find that later. But, and basically, they said no, that does not contain it. Oh, it's actually, I think it's in this one. Here it is. Let's find this. Here it is, right here. I can't even believe this. La Quinta Columna, founder of the blog. According to the articles, the Spanish fact checker, blah, 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 Delgado has previously spread misinformation. Right here in the article. Wow. Now, what else is going on? Like, what are the odds that the very sticker in the TV series has the exact same ingredient that some are making the claims are in the sticker now? 11 years after the TV series came out. Again, I'm not making any claims. We're just analyzing the similarities between a TV series and real life. Let's take a look at this.
The cause of death was listed as sudden infant death syndrome.
It's possible that those babies died because their DNA was messed with.
Turns out, all the babies delivered 18 years ago, an unusually high number of them died.
Well, I visited the same cities over and over for 19 years.
So, 18 years, 6 plus 6 plus 6 is how long the visitors waited after they gave these children phosphorus to return and rule over the world and breed with us. Are we in a 19-year cycle after the mass sticker ritual that we just went through? And 19 years later is when it's all going to hit the fan.
They're using us to fast track their own evolution.
This explains why the V's didn't just annihilate us. They need us alive. They're stealing the best of our DNA.
Each of the 29 boys is missing a part of their DNA, using a mixture of the genes they have stolen. There's a void. We believe that the V's plan to fill that void.
What happens after they insert the new DNA?
I'll find out. Once the visitors extract the target's DNA and mix it with a larger pool, it will render all of the DNA they have extracted useless.
On every ship around the globe.
We'll corrupt their DNA.
We'll acquire a simple flu strain, then program it to destroy the reproductive functions of any DNA it encounters.
I've never in my life seen such exact pre-programming in a TV series. So, the fifth column launches a plan, as you just heard, to insert a virus through a flu strain back into the alien DNA to try to, like, corrupt their DNA, right? Which, of course, is the exact reverse of what really happened in real life, right? It's just the opposite.
DNA bombs. The next evolution of attack.
Anna believes she's silenced the fifth column with the death of Eli Cohn.
I mean, with any experimental treatment, let alone a virus, there's always the possibility for serious side effects. Even death. The DNA virus is untested.
Mind blown.
You lied to me, didn't you?
If I had told you the truth, you wouldn't have come this far.
You're right, I wouldn't have. Wait, you told me there wouldn't be any side effects. This.
Wow. You told me there wouldn't be any side effects. I wouldn't have come this far if you would have told me the truth. You lied to me.
Any side effects. This wouldn't harm people. That our carrier was just a.
So I can just pour the virus into the coffee?
Easier than sticking him with a needle.
So, as all this is going on, the V's begin construction of their 15-minute cities. What are the 15-minute cities called? They're called Concordia. Now, the word means harmony, but it also means other things. In the Greek, it means something very different. It means the negative of that, or disharmony, or discord. And many of you in the comments of yesterday's video, I'm very proud of you that you guys went and you're starting to research this stuff. You're not just relying on what I'm presenting. You're digging deeper. You're going down rabbit holes. And you actually found different definitions of the word Concordia. It's not about harmony. It's about something else, isn't it? So, the V's plan to use these cities called Concordias as fueling ports to stage their invasion. But the humans don't know it, and we're literally building our own prisons.
This is Concordia. The humans think they're building their future. They're digging their own graves.
They're building landing sites.
Yeah, for what?
For their invasion.
Are we completely nuts? As scientists examined blue energy, for all we know, it could give off radiation that turns us into brain-dead zombies.
Turn us all into brain-dead zombies, which is what I was trying to tell you guys is happening right now. People have been mind-controlled. They don't even have critical thought or critical thinking, because if they did, they would watch a decode like this and see how exact the programming was, and they would start to make changes about the things that they do in their life to follow people that they think they should be following and believing in certain systems and all this. But instead, they've already been mind controlled. They're basing things off of the right-left paradigm and emotion instead of intelligence.
It's a little dramatic, don't you think, Carrie? The planet's first blue energy reactor, one of 538 around the world.
Now Anna's opened the candy store and the candy's free, huh? Well, I, for one, say be careful what you eat. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered.
Now, there are many scenes where they're in the rain under an umbrella. And if you think about that, that takes a very specific and concerted effort by the people who make these films, right? It's like an animation. Everything in an animation, every scene, every object had to be created. So therefore, each object has importance, doesn't it? And it's no different when dealing with live action. It's a lot of work to give everybody an umbrella to fake the rain, so we know that the rain has symbolism. What is the symbolism of the rain? It's a shot. It's an injection. An umbrella is a hypodermic needle. That's what they're showing you there. Now let's keep watching here. Good morning, everybody. This is crazy.
It's what we don't know. That's the point of Concordia, giving the visitors an opportunity to share their vast knowledge with mankind.
So he's like brainwashed himself. Now in the series, he's just pretending. He's playing along. He is actually against the V's, but he can't let them know that because they'll just destroy him. But he's acting as that's cognitive dissonance. He's like, oh, that's the point. He turns it around into a positive. It's just like saying, oh, Trump is he's under attack, so he has to be legitimate. I mean, think about even saying that. It just doesn't make any sense. And he's like, oh, we have to accept the V's. That's the whole point of it, that we don't understand their technology. That's why we have to accept it. That doesn't make any sense. Now, this lady you're seeing here appeared in the original V series in 1984. They reprise her role, this time as the Queen Mother. And she's been locked in the bowels of the ship by Anna, who's hidden her and enslaved her, and Anna has become the new queen to take her place. Why? Because Anna, the daughter, does not believe in human emotion. She wants to basically subjugate mankind and eliminate emotion, whereas the Queen Mother is different. She wants to live in harmony and peace and embrace human emotion. So what do we have here? We have ourselves another right-left paradigm, don't we? Both choices are wrong. We shouldn't be intermingling with any aliens or demons or fallen angels, but they're giving you two choices here, hoping that you'll choose one, and of course one choice becomes the backup plan. That's what they're creating here, a backup plan.
Together, humans and visitors can live side by side in peace. We must embrace the soul, embrace humanity. Your rightful queen has returned.
Now, Anna, the daughter, stabs her mother in the back and kills the idea, kills her. But they had to include that little scene in there, which is the backup plan. If they can't get everyone on board with subjugation, they're going to just give it to you a different way. They're going to give you an apple instead of an orange, but they're both fruit, right? So that when all this goes down, people will fall right back into the false choice and still accept the fallen reptilians. Now, I included this next segment here because for everything that God does that is good, there's an evil counterpart, isn't there? And what does Genesis say that God did for Adam and Eve when they knew they were naked? He gave them skin, didn't he? Well, watch this.
Put skin on my new daughter.
So, basically, Anna clones her daughter, puts new skin on her to give an evil counterpart to her daughter, who was starting to rebel against her because she was giving into emotion as well. And so that's the evil counterpart. Now, the series ends with a hybrid child killing her father. There was a hybrid child earlier in the series, and the hybrid child grows up and gains the ability to bliss mankind. Now, what is this bliss aspect? Well, it's mind controlling. It's basically subjugating a person through mind control to the evil queen. They call it blissing, and it basically represents the mass deception. In other words, it's the very reason why channels like this, who expose all this, remain small and largely unpopular. It's because mankind has been deceived already. They've been blissed by the serpent. Now, the word bliss is obviously a knockoff of the word blessed, isn't it? So, good word is blessed, bad word is blissed. The series ends in this grand finale as the camera pans out, and you tell me what the shape of the earth is. I put it in slow motion so you could see this. This is the final scene. And wow, what did we just watch? Now, we'll be back Sunday with a headline show and a new series that I just started watching called Threshold from the early 2000s. But wow, what a finale. Good morning, everybody. I'm back in the chat here. Wow. Unbelievable. Now I had a couple more bucks show up last night. I got on the phone with my son Max. He's doing okay. He's hanging in there, and he's like, "Dad, I'm gonna go. I'm applying for Starbucks to work part time as well." He's also doing the mail carrier thing. And as soon as he said that, the camera went off, and guess who showed up to the Honey Milk Ranch? Starbuck. I was like, wow, God is amazing. And again, $3 or $4. I looked out the window. It was just starting to get dark, and the buck was standing in the middle of the yard, just yards away from the fire pit, and you could faintly see the silhouette of the buck standing up tall with his antlers, and just standing completely still. And I would have got a picture, but it's just, the pictures don't do it justice. And I was like, whoa. And then I sent the picture to Max. I said, Max, a Starbuck just came out. He's like, Starbuck, Dad? And I'm like, yeah, this beautiful buck. And he's like, whoa. Now, sorry. I know a lot of you guys have been praying for him. To know God, right? Well, all of your prayers were answered. And he said he's been getting close to God lately. Now, in some ways, that kind of scares me because, as you know, God always gives us a chance to know him. So, we've just got to keep him in our prayers. He's going through some stuff. Anyway, I love you guys, and I'll see you on Sunday. Have a great day, you guys. Have a great weekend.